and Ralph goes over them in his mind. Every day, eat bread and butter, milk and cheese, meat and eggs, vegetables, fruits, and a vitamin C food.
Who knows what this is?
Potatoes.
Potato? So you think these are potatoes? Not potatoes, though.
I don't know.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
Broccoli.
What about this? Our good old friend. Do you know what this is, honey?
Celery.
No. What do you think it is, darling?
Onion.
Onion, no. Immediately you get a really clear sense of, do the kids know anything about where food comes from? Who knows what that is?
Pear.
What do you think this is?
I don't know.
If the kids don't know what stuff is, then they will never eat
Tell me
it.
what this is.
The food pyramid. Food pyramid. The food pyramid.
At Willard Elementary School in Ridgewood, New Jersey, almost every kid knows the old standard food pyramid.
It says the categories of different foods. Grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meat and beans.
But do they understand what its colors and shapes really mean?
How do you know how much to put on your plate?
Really? I don't know.
The USDA has released a brand new guideline named My Plate. It shows half our plates should be filled with fruits and vegetables.
When it comes to eating, what's more useful than a plate? What's more simple than a plate?
So we decided to put the new symbol to the test and see if our elementary school kids thought it was, well, elementary.
This is the new pyramid. What do you think of it?
I think it's cool and easier to read. It shows you more how much of each category of foods you need to put on your plate.
And because it's easier to read, they claimed they'd make healthier choices.
You make a choice 3 times a day on what you want to eat. Most of the fruits and vegetables you buy in the supermarket were raised using man-made chemical pesticides, fossil fuel fertilizers, or genetically modified seeds. These vegetables are grown on large factory farms and have more than 23 chemicals that are toxic to humans. Corn, which can be found in almost every processed food product, is suspected to have 33 toxins that can lead to cancer. A new research conducted shows that supermarket vegetables have the highest percentage of pesticides. Bell peppers are loaded with pesticides containing 51 man-made chemicals that include 11 carcinogens, 22 hormone disruptors, 13 neurotoxins, and 10 reproductive toxins. Watermelons contain the highest level of pesticides that may be responsible for many diseases. $10.2 billion land animals are raised and killed for food.
Cow care and comfort is one of our top priorities. It may sound funny, but in some ways dairy cows are a lot like you and me. Give them a clean place to live, fresh food and water to eat and drink, and just a little TLC, and they will thrive.
Say what? This is the reality.
In the past 50 years, world meat production increased 5-fold. In order to meet this demand for a growing population and keep it affordable, many farmers have had to convert their small family farms into large industrial-sized operations. They've streamlined every part of the process to be able to compete in the marketplace. Unfortunately, that means having to treat animals like machines. Of all the animals on the farm, a typical steer raised for beef probably has it the best. But even he must undergo routine procedures without anesthesia. A typical dairy cow is forced to produce 340% more milk today than she would have had to produce in 1950. Like all mammals, she won't produce milk unless she gives birth. After her baby is born, the baby is taken from her within about 48 hours so that her milk can go to humans. If the baby is male, he will likely be sold for veal or raised for beef. The mother, meanwhile, will be re-impregnated by artificial insemination, and the cycle will continue until she is killed for hamburger meat. Scientific studies have shown that pigs are very intelligent and complex social animals. A typical mother pig spends most of her adult life in confinement. Within about 10 days, her babies are taken away from her. The babies receive no anesthesia for routine procedures. Veterinary care is too expensive, so they might die from infection, injuries, faulty construction, or neglect. A typical bird raised for meat is born in a hatchery. If he's lucky, he will survive the sorting process. His snood or comb is cut off, parts of his toes are cut off, and part of his beak is seared off, all without painkillers. Because he is genetically altered, his breast grows so large so quickly that his legs may no longer support him, or he could die from heart failure. A typical male egg-type chicken is sorted out from the females. He's considered useless because he won't lay eggs and he won't produce enough meat. Therefore, he is killed. He could be ground up alive to be used for animal food or fertilizer, or just thrown away. A typical baby female chick will become an egg-laying hen. She will be crammed into a tiny wire cage. To prevent her from pecking her cage mates to death, a third of her beak is seared off. But she still might have to share a cage with a dead bird. She could suffer from an impacted egg, a prolapsed uterus, or cage-related injuries.
Now that you know the truth about your food, will you make a change? For starters, you can look into organic food.
While 45% of Americans think the organic label means healthy or good, organic really has nothing to do with how nutritious the food is for you. Organic really just defines how the ingredients were created, prepared, or raised. Let me explain. Organic means that there aren't any genetically modified ingredients. Also, organic means that no chemicals were used to kill bugs and weeds, and that all pesticides are natural instead of synthetic. And organic means nothing was fertilized with sewage sludge. Yeah, sewage sludge. Organic also means that nothing was exposed to radiation, which some manufacturers do to sterilize food, and that no industrial solvents were used to clean things up. Also, organic means there could be no chemical food additives that some foods have to make them stay fresh for an unnatural amount of time. And if it's meat, that there's no routine use of antibiotics or hormones pumped into the animals. And all this stuff is really important. But notice, organic doesn't necessarily mean that the ingredients are nutritious. So if you care about healthy foods, it's more important to just eat whole foods, mostly fruits and vegetables.
So, what's for dinner?